Imagine a city that should never have survived. No name, no family, no future. She was born into violence and abandonment. Her parents were gone before she ever knew them. The moment she entered the world, she was thrown aside, still bloody, still gasping, unwanted and unloved. No one cut the cord, no one washed her, no one wrapped her in warmth. She was left in an open field to die. This is how God begins the story of Jerusalem, not as a queen, not as a holy city, but as a child no one wanted. God took a nation with no past and gave her a future. He washed her, dressed her, fed her, adorned her with gold and silver. He placed a crown on her head and turned her into something the world noticed. Kings spoke her name. Nations admired her beauty. And here's the critical truth of the story. She did not make herself beautiful. Everything she wore came from God's hand. But you know, something dangerous happened. She started believing the beauty was hers. She forgot the field, she forgot the blood, she forgot the voice that said, "Live." And trusting in her own beauty, she began to give herself away. She took the gifts God gave her and used them to attract lovers. She built altars to other gods. She copied the nations around her. She sacrificed what was sacred to feel powerful, desired, and secure. This is where the story becomes shocking, not to sensationalize sin, but to reveal the depth of betrayal. She didn't just wander, she chased betrayal. God is saying something very specific here. This wasn't ignorance. This was choice. And eventually, the lovers turned cruel. The nations she trusted betrayed her. The gods she served could not protect her. Her defenses collapsed. She was stripped, politically, spiritually, morally. Her shame was exposed for everyone to see. This is the fall of Jerusalem. This is exile. This is consequence. God did not destroy her in anger. He allowed her to experience the end of the path she chose. Then comes the most unsettling comparison. God says, "You are worse than Sodom." Not because Jerusalem sinned differently, but because she sinned with knowledge. Sodom sinned in blindness. Jerusalem sinned after being loved. Greater light rejected brings greater responsibility. And yet, this is not where the story ends, because God is not finished when shame feels final. God speaks again and says something almost unthinkable. "I will remember my covenant, not your faithfulness, my promise." He speaks of restoration so deep that even Sodom and Samaria are mentioned, not because their sin is excused, but because God's mercy is, greater than human categories. Because she will finally understand. She was never chosen because she was worthy. She was restored because God is faithful. What Ezekiel chapter 16 is ultimately saying is that this chapter is not about sex, it is about memory. Ezekiel 16 confronts pride, entitlement, and spiritual amnesia, and then anchors hope not in repentance alone, but in a God who keeps covenant even after betrayal.